What if I told you that Iran once tried to build a fighter jet so secretive, so ambitious, that even today it remains shrouded in mystery? This aircraft was not just another project. It was meant to change Iran's aviation history forever. This is the story of the Shafaq light fighter prototype, Iran's attempt at entering the world of stealth and advanced aviation. Stay with us till the end of this video because what you're about to discover is not just about technology. It's about secrets, ambitions, and a dream that still echoes in Iran's skies. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It helps us bring you more untold stories of legendary aircraft. And don't forget to check the description for the full documentary link with extended details. The Shafaq program started in the early 2000s, during a time when Iran was under immense international pressure and sanctions. The idea was simple yet bold. Build a domestic fighter aircraft with help from Russia. Iran had already been flying older American-made jets like the F-5 and F-14 Tomcat, and Soviet designs like the MiG-29. But what it lacked was a modern fighter project that could represent self-reliance. Shafaq, meaning Twilight in Persian, was born out of this ambition. The most astonishing part? Shafaq was said to feature stealth characteristics. Its fuselage design was intended to reduce radar cross-section, with carefully angled surfaces and radar-absorbing materials. Some sources even suggest that the cockpit canopy was coated with special materials to prevent radar detection of the pilot's helmet. Imagine this, a light fighter potentially invisible to enemy radars, an incredible leap for Iranian aviation at the time. Unlike typical fighters, Shafaq was designed with blended wing-body architecture, giving it a futuristic appearance that looked more like advanced Russian or even American prototypes. In fact, many analysts believe Shafaq was heavily influenced by Russian research into light stealth aircraft. Some even speculate that early designs may have drawn inspiration from the Russian Yak-130 or MiG-LFI projects, blending Iranian needs with foreign expertise. One of the most fascinating aspects of Shafaq is its intended multi-role capability. Iran did not want just a dogfighter, it wanted a platform that could perform interception, ground attack, and training roles. This flexibility would have been crucial for a country facing sanctions, where every aircraft must deliver maximum value. Shafaq was to be equipped with modern avionics, a glass cockpit, and possibly even helmet-mounted targeting systems, giving Iranian pilots a leap forward from older analog-era cockpits. But here's where the mystery deepens. Despite announcements and mock-ups displayed in airshows, Shafaq never made it into mass production. The story of modern Iranian fighter development is far more complex than most realize. When we speak about indigenous jets like the Azarakh and its successors, we are not simply describing machines of metal and engines. We are describing decades of trial, adaptation, and survival under pressure. One of the most astonishing aspects of the Azarakh program is how it emerged at a time when Iran was cut off from most advanced Western technology. Engineers and designers were forced to work with limited resources, outdated schematics, and fragmented technical knowledge left over from the pre-revolution era. Yet somehow, out of that scarcity, a jet fighter was born. What makes Azarakh remarkable is not just that it flew, but that it symbolized a transformation. A nation that had once been dependent on external suppliers had now managed to field an aircraft of its own design. Though heavily influenced by the Northrop F-5, Azarakh incorporated local innovations in avionics, weapon systems, and structural reinforcement. Every component told a story of reverse engineering under sanctions, where even the smallest microchip had to be redesigned, adapted, or entirely replaced with locally manufactured parts. One of the lesser-known facts about the Azarakh is its unique testing process. Lacking the kind of expansive facilities that larger aviation powers possessed, Iran's test pilots often conducted flights under high secrecy, using remote airstrips in the desert. Conditions were harsh, scorching heat in the summer, freezing winds in the winter. Yet this became a crucible that shaped both the aircraft and the pilots. Engineers often worked overnight, studying stress fractures, turbine wear, and aerodynamic anomalies, then rushing to implement solutions before the next dawn flight. What is particularly fascinating is how Azarakh became a platform for experimentation. Each prototype served not only as a fighter but as a flying laboratory. Modifications in wing geometry, air intakes, and fuel systems were tested one after another. Some variants incorporated Russian-inspired avionics, others tested Chinese radar systems, and still others experimented with Iranian-designed electronic warfare packages. This blending of influences created a hybrid fighter, neither fully Western nor entirely Eastern, but something distinctively Iranian. Few outside observers realized that the Azaraksh project also became a training ground for the next generation of Iranian aerospace engineers. The lessons learned from its design and manufacturing directly fed into later projects like the Sikh and eventually contributed to the Shafaq prototype. In this sense, Azaraksh was more than a fighter. It was a foundation stone, a university in the sky where engineers learned through fire and failure. Some prototypes and models were shown publicly, painted black with striking canards and a stealthy profile. But concrete evidence of test flights remains scarce. Was it truly built and tested, or was it more of a symbolic project to showcase Iran's determination? That question still divides aviation experts today. Shafaq's story also highlights Iran's struggle between ambition and reality. Developing a stealth fighter requires cutting-edge materials, radar testing, wind tunnel analysis, and powerful jet engines. Iran, under sanctions, faced incredible difficulties in acquiring these technologies. Some reports suggest Russia provided design assistance, but not the most critical stealth materials or engines. Without them, Shafaq may have been limited to prototypes only. Now here's the emotional punch. For Iran, Shafaq was more than just an airplane. It was a statement, a message to the world that despite isolation, Iran would not be left behind in aerospace innovation. Every photograph of the black-painted Shafaq model carried symbolic weight, inspiring national pride and speculation among aviation enthusiasts. But what if Shafaq had gone into production? Imagine an Iranian Air Force equipped with a light stealth fighter, able to evade detection and strike with precision. This could have dramatically changed the balance of power in the region. Shafaq could have served not only as a fighter but also as a symbol of indigenous innovation. The geopolitical consequences would have been huge, forcing adversaries to rethink strategies. Yet today, Shafaq remains in the shadows. Some say it quietly evolved into other Iranian aircraft projects like the Kawsar or Kahar 313. Others argue it was abandoned entirely due to technological and financial challenges. But the truth is, the legacy of Shafaq is still alive, not in the skies, but in Iran's continued pursuit of self-reliance in aerospace. And this brings us to a powerful realization. Sometimes, the importance of a project is not in its success, but in the ambition it represents. Shafaq may never have ruled the skies, but it fueled a new generation of Iranian engineers, designers, and strategists to keep pushing forward. That, in itself, is a victory. If you've watched this far, it means you're as fascinated by military aviation as we are. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our deep dives into the world's most mysterious aircraft. And remember, the full extended documentary link with additional details is waiting for you in the description below. Click it after this video to continue the journey. The Shafaq remains one of Iran's most intriguing aviation secrets, part dream, part mystery, part legacy. And sometimes, what is hidden tells us more than what is revealed.